The Winnipeg Jets come in at 24th overall in this season's Core 4 Under-24 team rankings. Greg, as you look at the Jets prospect pool and you consider how competitive this team has been over the past few years, is this just a case of a franchise in a win-now mode?
Well, I don't think there's any question they're in a win-now mode. I mean, you have a superstar goaltender, you have a top 5 defenseman in the league in Josh Morrissey, superstar center in Mark Scheifele, and a superstar winger in Kyle Connor. And here's Cole Perfetti, a second-line winger who's really progressing in his game. They've done a fantastic job in terms of drafting. I think Brayden Yager is going to be a really good player. You start to look at where their franchise is currently and presently, they got youth in their lineup that can contribute. Yes, they have some older players that are, like I just mentioned, superstars. But at the same time, they haven't given up a lot of draft picks to acquire players to help them. Yes, they've done it at different times, but you start to look at some of the trades that Kevin Cheveldayoff has made, bolsters the lineup, hasn't depleted the prospect pool, and if you start to look at where they're picking, they've done a pretty good job. Yeah, they're not picking in the top 10, so you're not going to have these high-end players. But if you can get some really good functional players that can come in your lineup and support those older guys, and they're not really that old, but the superstar players, now you're cooking. And I think that the Winnipeg Jets are right in a serious contention window.
Craig, as you mentioned, we know all about Cole Perfetti's abilities, but as you look at the other names on this board, what should Jets fans know about these other prospects?
Well, I think Brayden Yager is going to be an outstanding second-line center in the National Hockey League. He comes in the near term at some point here behind Scheifele in front of Lowry. What a great setup. Sasha Boumedienne, their first-round draft pick last year, playing at Boston University, a great skating defenseman. So now you're going to add a young defenseman in there to play behind Sandberg, to play behind Morrissey. Neil Pionk's still really good. Dylan DeMello's really good. They got a really good group coming in. And then Elias Salamonson, I think he's got a game as a right-shot defenseman. I think he's going to be there as soon as this year, Gino. So when you have Morrissey and you have Sandberg and you have Pionk and you have Scheifele and you have these players can now just slide in, do what they're capable of doing, and I think they're all going to be really good players. One guy not on that list is Colby Barlow. I think is a left winger. He's going to be a really good player for this team. So they're not lacking in players that come and help support what this team is trying to do with their older players. It's not all about young. It's not all about old. I think that the balance that Kevin Cheveldayoff has found with the Winnipeg Jets is significant, and we're going to see some of these players trying to help this franchise compete for Stanley Cups, not just this year, but in the few years to come.
How beneficial is it for an organization, for the young kids coming in, knowing they don't have to be rushed? They don't have to hurry, and there's not a big spotlight on them because there's so much support around them when they do make the step.
I tell young players all the time, you better be ready to come to the NHL, because if you're not ready, the NHL will chew you up and spit you out like nothing. And I think that Kevin Cheveldayoff and his group in Winnipeg have done a fantastic job over the years. Kyle Connor went to the minors. Josh Morrissey was in the minors. Just go look at how they've handled their young players. They have got their players into spots where they get them ready. And then when they come to the NHL, they can come in and contribute. Yeah, they're going to grow. Look at Cole Perfetti. He went to the minors. He is a player that played in the minors, progressed, and it's just steadily up. Is this progression line. And that's what you want to see. But you start rushing players into the National Hockey League before they're ready, good luck. Because now it's like kind of trying to find a way to find that pixie dust. And pixie dust doesn't help young players win in this league or to have success. They got to apply their trade, develop it, and then be ready.
Well said, my friend. Lots more Core 4 content available on both TSN.ca and on TSN's YouTube page.